Hey guys, and welcome back to my channel, a little bit of everything with Erin. Today we're going to do a craft video, and I was asked what works better on burlap sacks, if HTV, regular vinyl, or doing a stencil with paint works best. So we're going to test that theory out today. I've got some vinyl, some paint, and of course some HTV. I picked a glitter one. Alright, let's get started. So I added my vinyl to the burlap. I'm just taking the backing of the vinyl and putting it in between so the paint doesn't go through. And I didn't even use transfer tape. I literally just pulled this off and put it on. You can use transfer tape if you want to, but because it was a whole piece, I wasn't overly concerned about it. I knew it would go on fine. Some people do a layer of Mod Podge first. I asked the person if that's what they wanted to see, and they said no, just straight up paint. So we're just going to take some acrylic crafter's paint. And I preferred the method of just putting the paint on the item. You can use a paper plate or whatever else. Then I'm just going to use this sponge brush, and with a tapping motion, I'm going to start pressing that paint in. And make sure you go all the way over to the sides and just over the vinyl so that you know that you got full coverage. I like to make a square or a rectangle around the stencil itself. That way I have that bit of vinyl to kind of go over, and if I go a little too far, it's still on the vinyl and not on the burlap itself. So just go ahead and continue to do this. Once you're happy with the coverage, go ahead and set that aside. Don't touch it, just leave it alone and let it do its thing. Alright, so the next one, we're going to just use regular vinyl. This is 651 from Oracle. I'm just going to peel it off. Again, it's a whole piece, so I don't need transfer tape for that. And I'm just going to go ahead and center it and put it down as I typically would. Now, because it is burlap, it's not going to sit on there right. This is very rough to use on here. You don't really want to, unless it's just like something that you need for like maybe an hour or so would be fine, but really this is not an option that you would want to do. And our next option is HTV, and I opted to use a glitter HTV, so that's on its transfer tape. And let's go over to the heat press. Sorry, the lighting isn't that great over here. Okay, so I'm going to put it on the edge here. You can go ahead and do it like that, or if you have a pressing pillow, I would really advise using that just to get it a little more lift and get it up closer to that heating panel. And I'm going to stick part of it out because it's a little thicker because of the string that's inside of it. And I'm going to go ahead and let that press for 30 seconds at 315 degrees. Sorry, I thought I was in full shot, but I'm just shaking the transfer tape off, and it came off very easily. And you can kind of see that it went really well onto the burlap. But as I always do with any HTV, I always press twice. This time I'm going to take my sheet and put that over it. And then I'm going to go ahead and do another 30 seconds at 315 degrees. So the HTV worked really well on the sack. I would definitely opt to go with HTV if you wanted something long-term. And of course, it's glitter, so it just looks really pretty. And I'm just going to stick my hand in there to show you that it did not stick to the other side. It's open and still usable. So another question this viewer had asked me was, would they be able to heat press the vinyl onto it? And I told them I would show them. It would just be easier. So we're going to go ahead and hit that up. I did it upside down so that the vinyl wasn't actually touching the heat. Just the back adhesive of it more was. Okay. And as I suspected, it didn't really adhere anymore. It did make it more pliable. That way you could kind of push it more onto the burlap, but you still have spots where it's just not sticking. It has a hard time sticking to the burlap. So our painted one has been sitting for about 30 minutes. I'm going to go ahead and pull that stencil off. And I have nice clean lines. I did not need the Mod Podge. Came out nice and crisp. We're going to go ahead and remove that paper just so I can show you why it's a great idea to put that underneath so you don't have to transfer to the back side. Perfect. I put my hand in to see if it was still dry, and there was a little spot that was still wet. And then of course our glitter HTV one, which is probably my favorite of the three. I just like glitter, I'm sorry. And then our vinyl that we put down and then kind of heated up. And I did want to show that this isn't going to stay very long. Just picking at it started to pull it up. Now the heat did help it stay down. I'm not going to lie, it did help. But again, this would not last long like the paint or the HTV would. It'd be a good option if you just needed something for like an hour or two. These are the two options I would definitely go with. Alright guys, if you enjoyed that, make sure you subscribe to my channel. We just hit over 13K subscribers and I appreciate you guys very, very much. Please give this video a big thumbs up. Share it if you want to. That always helps me out and I greatly appreciate that as well. And if you hit that bell, you'll get notifications anytime I post new videos. Which one was your favorite bag? Leave me a comment down below and let me know what other videos you guys want to see. Alright guys, until next time, as always, happy crafting!